Welcome to Brainstorm 9000.
Hello, brains of the internet. Today, I'm here in the studio together with Ashley.
Hello.
Ashley is a person who now has taken place of Master McMaster and runs media for me at my office and for this whole thing. And I also invited her to participate in our 50th anniversary podcast.
Woo!
Hi, my name is Dr. Schultz. As you probably know, if you've listened to this podcast at all before, that I'm a host and a co-host and an initiator and creator of Brainstorm 9000, the podcast that actually I started together with Master McMaster, Jane McMaster, who left a couple of episodes ago. But there is going to be more interesting stuff coming your way. So today, Ashley,
Yes.
I suggest we talk about my new book that just came out on Kindle.
Indeed.
And it's called BrainTech Manifesto.
Yes.
You read it?
I did read it.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Right.
I have a lot to say about it.
So say a couple of nice things about it.
Well, I think it really does open up your mind to things that I don't think that we think about every day. We encounter a lot of stressful stimuli in our environments these days, and I believe that we have normalized it and feel that it's okay, but it's actually making us sick, and I think that you really highlight that in the book. So
Yeah. But you know, if you come to think about it, Master McMaster and I recorded an episode about brain technology.
yes, you did.
What, like 3 or 4 episodes ago?
Yes, so now we are talking about it again. Why are we talking about it again, Dr. Schultz?
Because practice makes perfect, right?
Practice makes perfect.
Yes. In Russia, we say it in a more apparent way, I think. We say repetition is mother of education and learning. So no matter how you slice it or dice it, as you probably know, most of the people are not aware that brain is their main organ. For example, we don't need to go too far. When I was filming the first episode
Yes.
for YouTube, which is called What is Your Main Organ? And you are welcome to watch it on YouTube. The channel is called BrainTech 9000, okay?
Yes.
So this is Brainstorm 9000, has a sister / brother outlet on YouTube, which is called BrainTech 9000, and you are in this episode. Do you remember
I
what
am
you
in this
answered?
episode. I don't remember what I answered, but it definitely wasn't my brain. I know that.
Well, you said actually kidneys.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, you said that it's a very important organ, but
Yeah.
did I make you change your
You
mind?
definitely made me change my mind. I feel a little silly about my answer now, actually.
So there's nothing silly about it. I guess I mentioned it at least once before, that I actually spoke, not on camera, with a professor of philosophy who teaches philosophy in one of colleges in New York. And he actually told me that he teaches his students that there is no such thing as the main organ, that every single organ is important. Well, how do you feel about it?
I think that that's true,
Right.
but I do think that our brain is our main it's the most important one. I think that that is true. We need all of them, yes.
Well, we need all of them, of course, but also I can tell you, for example, if you take any formation, and I don't want to become so primitive and talk about army, but it's a
Yes.
very, very obvious thing. That of course every single soldier is important because without them, army wouldn't exist. But they need direction, right? So actually, in the case of the situation with army, there are multiple levels of hierarchy, which starts from a soldier and then goes all the way to, I guess, a general and admiral and the ultimate.
So what's after that? What's after that?
I have no idea. So, without mentioning your exact age, growing up, did you have a lot of access to computers and iPhones?
I probably had less than maybe
Right.
some others.
Right.
Maybe some others just because I have a lot of siblings, so I was
Right.
always outside and doing things with my siblings. If it wasn't for that, maybe.
Right.
But I did. I played a lot of video games.
Using what system?
Nintendo.
You know what? I have two daughters, and my daughters and I also played Nintendo. And in Mario Brothers, when you race, right?
Yeah.
They would give me always the same character. It was this huge gorilla sitting on a very small thing.
Yes.
I forgot his name.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. So I always was the Donkey Kong, and I always lost because you guys are so much better than my generation, right?
Yeah.
And you are not even generation.
Practice makes perfect. That's why we've been practicing.
Right, but you are not a millennial, right? You are Gen Z.
No, I think I'm a millennial.
Really?
Yeah, pretty sure. Like 99% sure.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm not quite Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
Is it Gen Z? Mm-hmm.
No, you are not Gen Z yet?
Not quite yet.
Okay. So, when was the first time you were exposed to a computer?
Ooh, that's a good question. Maybe like 5 years old. I feel like that's when computers started to be a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I called myself on this program a time machine because I'm 63 years and 7 months old, something like that. So in October, I'm going to turn 64. I was born in 1955. Of course, when I was 5, in the Soviet Union, I'm from Moscow. In 1960, there were 0 personal computers anywhere in the world. There already were computers probably somewhere. I don't remember when the IBM computer was created, but it probably was not long before 1960.
Yep.
And I said it before, I remember very clearly that we were playing, like, with my friends on the street, and all of a sudden supersonic jets flew by, because at that time they flew over Moscow quite a bit. And we got scared. My grandmother told us to drop on the floor.
Oh, no.
Because she went through World War II and thought that we are about to be bombed. So that's how naive it was. We listened to a radio which had like real lamps inside. And then later on, my parents bought a black and white TV set, which had only initially one channel. I'm talking about Russia. I don't know how it was here. So I actually witnessed computers come around.
Yeah.
And when I came to the United States in 1988, personal computers kind of appeared, but they were kind of large. And I started working at Columbia University in 1989, and my boss in his lab had a computer which had this gray and green kind of thing, so green letters on a gray background, absolutely no graphics. And his secretary categorically refused to type on the computer. She kept typing on a huge electric door typewriter with multiple copies. You remember how it used to be?
Yeah, I remember. I know how it looks. So I'm just picturing it in my head. It's pretty funny.
So, what do you think happened to your brain when you were exposed to a computer?
I'm not sure, but
Good answer.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I feel like something not good necessarily. Yeah, I think it just added some more stress to an already stressful environment that we live in this world. So,
that is a very good point, and a lot of people, especially people my age, would agree with you. But there is a train of thought, actually, a pretty serious train of thought, that a lot of super smart people share, where people tell you that, look, if we are products of evolution, we need to think about how dinosaurs would feel if they saw how far we went. So I personally don't know whether humans ever witnessed dinosaurs or not, and I know what science tells about it, but science changes every single second of our life, so I don't know what they're going to tell us. But the mammoth, right, who were hunted by Neanderthals, probably felt that humans are kind of extremely inferior and didn't recognize how dangerous, so to speak, they would become. So humans, as the next step of evolution, won for a couple of reasons.
yeah.
One of them, that we are able to work together. And we are able to work together because we have a very developed frontal brain. And we also have an opposing thumb, right? We know that.
Indeed.
But that's characteristic of not only human animals, as Jane McMaster used to say, but all the primates.
Yes.
But the main thing is the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So then one can say that our brain kept developing, and we kept developing, and then we created the next generation of evolution,
Mm-hmm.
which is artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Do you accept that?
To an extent, yes. Yeah.
Does it make you happy?
I don't think so. No. It makes me actually kind of scared.
What are
Yeah.
you scared of?
Well, I watch a lot of movies. We were discussing movies earlier.
Right.
And in these movies, like when it comes to the next evolution being artificial intelligence,
Right.
it always goes bad. Like we end
Yes.
up losing as humans. We always lose.
Yes, do we?
Yes, we do. Almost always. There's only like a few survivors, but most of us die. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Well, I actually did some research on that because I'm working on what I think is a very interesting breakthrough article about a possibility of our brain being connected to other brains, like a real possibility. I co-wrote it with a physicist and a radiophysicist. So when it comes out, of course, we'll review it. And it turns out not in an alphabetical, in a chronological order. One of the first movies that I'm aware of was A Space Odyssey in 1968.
That was a
came out.
book as well, wasn't it?
Yes,
I
it's a
believe I
very
read
good
part
science
of it.
fiction. Yes. And then just to jump ahead, the Blade Runner in 1982, the original one. Of course, Terminator. The first one came
Who
out in
doesn't know that one?
1994.
Yes.
And then how about The Matrix?
Mm-hmm.
1999. Remember how cool it was?
It was so cool.
In the movie, you can stick an extension from a computer into somebody's like back of the head,
Yes.
and
Do
you
you
learn
see that as the
instantaneously.
future? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And that doesn't scare you.
That part actually doesn't.
No.
No.
Okay.
Listen, I was an A+ student through and through everywhere I went to study, but it takes a lot of work and takes away from a lot of fun. And then I, Robot 2004,
Yes.
remember that one?
Of course, Will Smith.
That's
Yes.
with Will Smith, right?
Yes.
Was an amazing movie. And then Eagle Eyes 2008. Have you seen this
Eagle
one?
Eye, I've seen that one. That's a good one.
What is it about? I haven't seen it.
It's about artificial intelligence. It's about Big Brother. Like, you know the whole idea of Big Brother?
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Big Brother and like people watching you. Like the government is watching you everywhere you go.
Don't spoil it for me. I'll watch it.
Yes, you've got to watch it.
And then I have to tell you that I'm pretty sure you haven't seen the movie because I saw it only after I did research.
Mm-hmm.
There was a movie, it's a very short movie, kind of like from a scary movie category, which is called Blinky TM. It came out in 2011. I recommend everyone to see it. It would be an eye-opener for you. So Blinky, B-L-I-N-K-Y, and then capital T as in Tom, M as in Mary. It was published in 2011.
Is it American? It's an American film?
I don't actually remember. I think so. But it's either American or probably Canadian. It's either one of them.
Yeah.
Have you heard any of the super smart people talk about artificial intelligence?
Honestly, not really, except apart from Elon Musk. I know a lot about Elon Musk now because of the book
Right.
and some things you've
Because
told me.
Because
Yes.
of my book.
Yes, because of your book.
Because BrainTechnology Manifesto actually discusses, for a particular reason, a pretty large detail, an interview with Elon Musk that was conducted by the super famous podcaster, right? Joe Rogan.
Rogan, yes,
Right.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, we love you. So Joe Rogan is really good, and I've been listening to Joe Rogan for a long time.
Yeah.
The guy is like a super podcast machine. He releases a podcast almost every day, I think, right?
Yep.
So they had an interview with Elon Musk, and what made it to the news, actually, ridiculously, is that Elon Musk smoked pot and that they
No
drank
way.
whiskey. No, during this podcast.
Really?
Which you can watch on YouTube, the whole thing.
Yes.
But what part did you listen to?
I listened to the part where you talked about, is it called Neurocore?
Neuralink.
Neuralink. Okay, it's so funny because I just saw Detective Pikachu, don't laugh.
Right.
But they have this thing called Neuralink. I think that's what it was called in Pokemon, but it was kind of a similar idea to what Elon Musk is trying to do.
Right.
In terms of like merging artificial intelligence with like human beings.
Yes.
But yeah.
So maybe for this podcast, it wouldn't be a bad idea to review what Elon Musk actually says, and then I'll be very happy to explain how brain technology comes in. Does make sense?
Makes sense.
So, do you remember the main points that Elon Musk makes?
Elon Musk says that technology is adapting at a much faster rate than human beings are adapting to.
Right.
And it's kind of too late to go back to like our primitive state at this point. What we need to do now is figure out a way to make sure that like we're kind of still the superior race.
Or to learn how to coexist.
So can't beat them, join them kind of
right.
idea.
That's what he says actually, exactly. So let me help all the brains of the internet together with you, Ashley, to figure out what exactly are his concerns. And I have to tell you that if you are interested, interviews with him is a good source, but also there is a philosopher who works out of Oxford in England and published a number of articles and a very interesting book. His name is Nick Bostrom. Bostrom is Bostrom. If you decide to read his books, they are kind of thick because he's a philosopher and he's very intense. And he actually analyzes in a very great detail the situation with artificial intelligence and gives you the entire history of what's going on. Elon Musk is a very practical super genius, right? We are blessed actually to live alongside quite a few of them nowadays, right? He is not alone, who tackled a lot of interesting projects. And one of them he calls Neuralink. So do you understand what he's planning to do?
With Neuralink?
Yeah.
Not exactly.
So what he is planning to do with Neuralink is to provide a direct, high-band, high-speed connection between the brain and artificial intelligence. What he says is that artificial intelligence is already beginning to outrun us because it kind of doesn't make that many mistakes. And while it already has become a part of us, because like, look at me, I'm sitting here, I'm holding in my right hand my iPhone.
He is doing that.
Because I needed to give a list of movies which I wouldn't remember. So I wrote them down and now my iPhone remembers them. So it enriches my memory. Also, if I wanted to see some pictures about me and my family or my friends, I would have to go home and open the album, and some people find it very romantic, right? But nowadays, I have them all on my iPhone. So again, my visual memory is enhanced.
Everything's more convenient, yes.
I have videos, so I can really go back and relive what's been in the past. I have a very quick access. Me, myself, and I, all the three of us. Do you know what book I'm quoting right now?
No.
Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we cannot do it. So do I have all this information stored somewhere in my memory? Of course I do. At least I would hope so. But this provides me a very easy access. I can also communicate with anybody I want very quickly. Like, for example, if I wanted to talk to you during the podcast without people hearing me, I would text you, right? And nobody would catch us.
Nope.
In my particular case, probably they would, because I would have to make pauses every now and then. But in real life, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right? It also provides instantaneous connection, not only by means of me calling somebody, but we can do FaceTime because you and I have iPhones, right?
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure other models of phones have kind of similar devices.
Exactly.
It has Siri, who I happen to hate.
Yes. Does anybody like Siri? I don't think anyone
Well,
likes
nobody
Siri.
likes Siri, which brings me to another point. We are kind of invaded by artificial
Oh,
intelligence
yeah.
now, because there is Siri, then there is
Alexa.
Alexa. Do you have her in her home?
I don't have Alexa. I kind of want Alexa now. I'm not going to lie, though.
You know what? I bought the very first Alexa for
Yeah.
$40, installed it, and it was amazing. We played with it, and then I told people around me, you know what, this thing is spying on us, and and I shut her off, and she's now sitting on the floor
I think
without
that's
power
for the
supply.
best. Yeah.
Has no power supply, but people told me, and I heard it seriously from serious people, that actually your printer can spy on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
How
but
so?
so why? So people say, look, why do you care? Like, for example, Zuckerman, the guy who created, Facebook.
Yeah. Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh. Who?
Zuckerman.
Oh, Zuckerman. Yeah.
He I read covers the camera of his computers. And one would think, like, what
What's
do you
the big
care?
deal? Yeah.
You are not a Zuckerman, you are not Elon Musk. So I'm about to come to this point. So we have these devices. As Elon Musk puts it, we became the cyborgs because we are already connected to these things. They work very fast, and their input level when they talk to each other, when they communicate through Wi-Fi or the internet, is very fast. We now brought ourselves down actually to 2 thumbs, says Elon Musk.
You're right.
Right? When you text, do you use your thumbs?
Of course.
Both of them?
Yeah.
See? So, but not your 10 fingers like you use when you type on the keyboard. Of course, one can say that you can talk into this thing because there is Siri and there is Alexa, and I'm pretty sure Samsung. I mean, I know for a fact that Samsung and Google, they also have their own ladies. I just don't remember their names.
I don't either.
So what's important to realize is that artificial intelligence is kind of like sitting in the virtual universe somewhere. And I was totally impressed and immediately agreed with a notion offered by people like Elon Musk and Bostrom and everybody else, especially people who are hands-on working on artificial intelligence, and I met quite a few, is that AI now utilizes our input to develop itself even better.
Does.
So yes, when it watches you and when it listens to you, it's learning from you. So would you like to help it, or would you like to kind of not help it? Would you like to participate in your own destruction on planet Earth or
exactly.
not? So as you probably heard in his interview, Elon Musk tells us that he actually spent a significant amount of time reaching out to different government levels, including he spoke to President Obama, he says. And he spoke to Congress, and he spoke to senators, and he spoke to all the governors. And they did listen to him, but nothing was done. And what he was asking for and suggesting years ago is that someone needs to create a committee, a government committee, which is going to take on a task of analyzing what's going on with artificial intelligence, and then creating milestones of how it needs to be controlled. Because if it's left uncontrolled, nothing good is going to come out of it.
Yeah.
And he says that he's kind of has given up right now because it's already what he suggested is not happening.
Yeah.
And artificial intelligence, according to him, is extremely highly developed.
Yeah, so do you think that it's now smarter than human beings?
Well, I don't have enough information to say. People who I interviewed for one of the podcasts, because we did a podcast on artificial intelligence, unfortunately, I don't know how many people listen, but based on the number of hits on YouTube, and I don't know about others, it's the most listened of our podcasts, right?
Yeah.
It's like almost 8,000 hits there, which for a podcast of our magnitude, we are kind of new, less than a year old, almost a year old, is kind of good. So people there suggested that he's wrong, that his concerns are premature because a machine does only what you tell it to do.
No, I agree with that concept as well, because I don't want to believe that a machine could ever be smarter than its creator.
Right.
you know?
But it can. You are probably smarter than your parents.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that. But at the same time, it's just like artificial intelligence is adapting at a much faster rate, like you mentioned,
Right.
than human beings are.
Right.
So it's kind of hard not to believe that it has already surpassed us. I'm pretty sure it has already surpassed us, and we should be worried.
Well, that's what he says. It probably didn't surpass us yet in its ability to make complex decisions that require out-of-box things, but with all the games, it's outplaying all the players, even very sophisticated ones. So what Elon Musk says that now the time has come when, if we do nothing about it, we are going to become something like a Labrador for artificial intelligence. Like it might decide to keep us.
Yeah.
Right? So the only way for us to kind of like speed up and at least first be on the same level and then excel is to learn how to exchange information with artificial intelligence at the same rate or faster than it does itself. And for that, you need a broadband, because speaking and typing with either 2 thumbs or even 10 fingers is not fast enough. Artificial intelligence does it significantly faster. So he took on a task to connect up our brain with AI using, as I said before, high band, high speed connection. I know that there have been experiments that his lab is conducting, and I think I saw at least once a person in charge who is a neurophysiologist, I think somewhere from Eastern Europe, but I'm not sure, interviewed. Seems to be a very smart guy, of course. Elon Musk wouldn't hire anybody who is not smart. But I don't know how technologically it's possible. But I'm not a judge of that. And Elon Musk probably 2 or 3 months ago said that in another 6 months, meaning now we have 3 left, they are going to have something to show us. And it's not only him. A lot of people in a lot of different countries using different approaches, I'm pretty sure, work on connecting up AI with the human brain.
Yeah.
But my concern is this. While Elon Musk is a super smart guy, and Mr. Musk, I really admire your work, and I think very highly of you, but still, he is an engineer, right? Have you ever seen The Big Bang Theory?
No, my dad loves that show, though.
Well, it's basically a show about a bunch of dorks living together and one normal woman, right? And the main character, who is like super smart, is especially like funny, right? So gifted engineers can come up with a lot of super interesting solutions, but I think the time has come when somebody like me, preferably exactly me, comes into this equation and helps to create basically a new field of medicine and a new field of human activity, which I decided to call brain technology, which is going to take care of the needs of the brain, who's been, on one hand, essentially attacked by all the media input, which is overwhelming. Our brain is millions of years old, and it's been only, what, 50, let's even say 100 years, which is not so, but let's say 100 years. So it's all very new and stressful. And provided that we are already the cyborgs, right, and that more and more is to come, including Neuralink or something like that, I agree with Elon Musk, but I take it not a step further, but kind of like I offer another part to it, that we need to create a field where professionals from the field of psychiatry, psychology, neurology, sociology, and regular physicians of different specialties work together on creating a safety net for the brain, for the human brain. And also, if it's done now, preferably it should have started yesterday, would be able also to pick up on this sudden probably changes that are about to happen when we get connected up to the high-speed internet, so to speak, right? Does make sense to you?
It makes sense to me.
So I want to keep some tension and some suspense here. So guys, if you go on Amazon.com, you can find in the Kindle section my book. My name is Edward Schultz, And it's called, can you say it with your perfect English?
BrainTech Manifesto.
BrainTech Manifesto, people. So, goodbye.
Farewell.
And keep your brains open.
Very open.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brainstorm 9000. If you like us, love us, or marginally tolerate us, hey, go ahead and subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever the hell you listen to your podcasts.